Welcome back. Let's bring you back down to Earth now, because Earth is feeling like the stratosphere at the moment. In fact, that's where we've been taken with the Olympics. We continue to celebrate this showpiece that is represented in Paris this year. And radio presenter, sports commentator, and ridiculously good-looking human being, Morgan, just ridiculous. Look at that face. Morgan Newman now joins us to discuss some standout moments and just to help us work through it all, because there is a lot going on, man. A lot of South African investment, a lot of massive global moments, benchmark moments happening. So I'm going to ask you, buddy, first of all, you must be happy because you get the Olympics literally every 5 minutes. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm very good, thank you, gentlemen. And I tell you what, so inundated with sport, it is just crazy. And now there's also rugby coming up over the weekend. But besides that, just Olympic Games has had me every single evening wrapped up in the TV, making a fire. And I mean, so many fantastic performances, so many PBs. Look, we haven't seen that many medals, I think, this year. We haven't seen, from Team South Africa necessarily. Sure. But for the most part, you just see athletes achieving PBs. That's what you want to see on the global stage. Your personal best. I mean, how much more can one ask for, right?
Completely, man.
Truly.
Completely.
And I think the fact that literally the Olympics is requiring PBs, national records, Olympic records in order to just get into the final and that podium, it's speaking a plethora to what the human body is able to achieve right now. And so much to dive into. Let's talk about that stalwart performance of last night, the 200 meters that had everybody on the edge of their seats staying up late till last night. What are your thoughts, G? What are your thoughts?
And incredible. And I think everyone was waiting for the double coming out of the 100 meters, an opportunity to see some of the best sprinters in action. What did you make of a blisteringly fast 200 meters, man?
Let me tell you, I am a massive Gabby Thomas fan, but there is something to be said about the double. We haven't seen it in a very long time. I think Usain Bolt was probably the last that we saw, to achieve the 100, 200 meter double. So to see Gabby Thomas come out and just put in a performance, I mean, the chat before was, where's it going to go? I think she ran away with it in the end, and had it been any further, she'd probably won by 5 or 6
even more.
meters.
And I mean, kudos to Julian Alfred. And looking at her physique and the way she powered, absolutely destroyed that 100-meter field. I thought this was her chance to get that double. But when we look at the action that was playing out, obviously a massive investment in the longest sprints at the moment. And what have you made of the 400? So much interest at the moment. Moving through into the semi-final stages, obviously 2 South Africans in the repechage managing to put their hand up as well. This is normally a happy hunting ground for South Africans.
Yeah, 400 meters at the Olympic Games without Wade van Niekerk felt a little bit different this year. I mean, I won't lie, we expect to see him there. You see a 400, and every time, the race comes up, you see world record holder, world leading time, Olympic record, all Wade van Niekerk. So not to see him there was very interesting, but it must be said, I mean, Life Pillay and Zakita Nene really put in fantastic performances, both coming through the sort of the heats and putting good performances. And then in the semi-finals, I thought, I really thought one of them, again, Nene achieving PB, so you can't really argue with that. But I'd love to see one of them in a final. I mean, wouldn't that have been fantastic, right?
It's an opportunity where we do have with now the 200 meters, and maybe you can help me unpack this. The choice for Wade van Niekerk not to run the 400 meters, to focus on the 200 meters.
Yeah, I mean, it's not official, but the way the assumption is going around is that obviously his times weren't really showing that greatly compared to what he has done in the past. I think the training leading up to it as well is just showing that there's going to be more value for him representing South Africa in various other sort of events this year. And if you look at some of those times and what he's been running, it might have been a good choice. Might have been a good decision in hindsight. So I think with that being said, it's so much more exciting to know that this is someone that can run a world record 400, someone that can run a sub-20, someone that can run a sub-10 in the 100 and 200. So he's got the ability to show up, and he's got the ability to still get a result, much like Akani Simbine in the 100. So it's going to be very interesting to see, can he show up in that 200 and use half of the tank, essentially, that he has?
And he looked easy, man. He looked like he was in his stride.
I mean, I watched it quite carefully. It's something, he doesn't look as rhythmic as he normally does, and I think a 400 is extremely rhythmic event. They call it the toughest sort of track and field event that is out there. You'll know more than me.
Testing,
But so the 200 is probably the right call. Does he have the wheels to get a medal? Or I'm not convinced to get into the finals. I'm not really convinced, but let me tell you what, our relay teams are going to be super exciting. I mean, we had 3 members in the 100-meter finals. We've now got 3 in the semi-finals of the 400. You know, and Wade who can add himself into that mix. I think we might surprise a couple of countries when it comes to the relays.
And we have the opportunity to do it. And there is something about the 75,000 people being in that stadium, well represented in all of the fringe, I want to say lightly fringe sports here. We've got cycling, we've got skateboarding, we've got bouldering, we've got canoes happening now. We would think that South Africa, with the medals that we've achieved in the past, in the water, with oars in our hands, that this is something where we'd expect, hopefully, to get some traction.
Yeah, without a doubt. You know, I mean, Bridget Hartley, you know, 3 Olympic Games. She's gone out there and she's really set the tone with the canoeing. And now we're seeing it with the men. You know, they've made it through the semi-finals. A fantastic performance yesterday. If you consider the fact that, I mean, 3 false starts. That's unheard of.
You don't get that often in this
And then
event.
to still come through and perform as well as we did, coming in second. So we're through to the semi-final. So there's another, you know, team coming through the semi-final. So we are just, you know, I think we're putting our hands up in sports that most people in South Africa never even knew existed.
Exactly. We've got to connect those dots, but we, of course, have an opportunity tonight to connect in a very big way. Yes, we know Sean Wade will be running at around 8 o'clock, I think, in the 200-meter semi-finals, but looking at the pace of the 100, I think this 200 is just going to be off the charts. Then Miranda Coetzee, after an unbelievable repechage yesterday in the women's 400 meters, she will be competing in that final tonight as well. Absolutely amazing. Buddy, thank you so much. Now you've given me PTSD about like, how am I going to deal with the sport and the rugby at the same time. I don't know what I'm going to watch. But of course, you can catch all of the Olympic actions live on your SABC channels and, of course, SABC radio stations and SABC Plus.